Hey everybody. So, for those who are curious, I wanted to let know um, how I sometimes go about going to battlefields. Um, Most of the time it's through reading. Other times it's just because I know something happened somewhere. So, I end up finding books on it. But for the stuff that I'm not too familiar with and I learned more about are from books like The War of 1812 by John Grant and Ray Jones. It's a guide to battlefields and historic sites of the War of 1812. I use it for places I might not have any literature on. And it does go into great detail about what happened at the battle with not being overly detailed. I do plan on using A Guide to New Jersey's Revolutionary War Trail for Families and History Buffs by Mark D. Iano. Hope I pronounced that right. I found it sitting in my local bookstore, and I was curious about that. It does go into some detail about like what happened at some of the places, or what makes some of those places significant in New Jersey's Revolutionary War. And then I also have A Guide to Battles of the American Revolution by Theodore P. Savas and J. David Dameron. Those are just some examples I have of books. And I use books by the American Battlefield Trust, their maps, when I can, to put myself in the right spot from what I'm facing. As you see behind, I got a whole bunch of books here. These are my World War II books, and a lot of the stuff behind me was my great grandfather's, like the World War II veteran hat here, his 90th Division hat here. We got that for him a while ago. I think it was the 80th anniversary of D-Day, stuff like that. Is it? No, 60th. Sorry, 60th anniversary of D-Day. Because it was 2004. And then I just have some pieces here that my sister got me. And then up here I have, that was from my great-grandfather of service to America. I got the Iwo Jima. And then I got up above Eisenhower's speech to the men for the Great Crusade, the Great Crusade speech. Now, I know like behind me I got my Civil War stuff right here. And don't mind the Confederate flag. I've found that I gotta get my Union flag. But got the Civil War. I even got Mexican-American War, like right here. If I can get it out. I got this one. I learned to love with the Peninsula Campaign. This one is A Gallant Little Army by Timothy D. Johnson. It was the Mexico City campaign that Winfield Scott ran and succeeded. And McClellan ended up trying to do, but didn't succeed at all. I also have a lot of books across from me. I just don't feel like turning around. Like biographies, memoirs. I see my two Sherman memoirs. I got Grant's memoirs here. I have Ike's. I got Dwight Eisenhower's Crusade in Europe. Right now reading Patton's book. And just all bits and pieces of, Douglas MacArthur. I have 2 of those copies. So, we got some on Ambrose Burnside, James McPherson books, stuff like that. And then I got my Revolutionary War, 7 Years War, and War of 1812 across from me. I'm looking, I see like Washington's Crossing, Battle of Paoli. You know, a lot of these books I have, I'm going to be using for my battlefields that I go to. The one I'm really hoping to get to, if you guys don't know much about it yet, is going to be Fort Griswold and Fort Trumbull up in Connecticut. That battle massacre was probably one of my first really gruesome battles I visited. I didn't know much about it. It was a birthday outing, I would say, and I just put my finger on the map. I was like, hey, what do we got here near Connecticut for what we could do? And what ended up happening is I saw that there was this place called New London, and then there were forts. That's how I used to find places to go to. I just Googled forts or battlefields in a state. And Fort Griswold and Trumbull popped up, and I was like, ooh, that seems very exciting. So we went. I learned. I was quite intrigued by it, and I got a book that was recommended by those at the museum there and and whatnot, and I read it. It was nothing but like first-hand accounts and newspapers and all put together, and it was actually well written. And you know, while I was there, I learned about what happened, and when I came home, I learned about what happened more. And it was just a tragic battle, and it was also, from what I learned, Benedict Arnold's one of his final battles in the Revolutionary War. I think it happened in 1780, 1781. But yeah, that's on my list to go back and visit and show to you guys and gals. Another one I want to go do is I want to go back to Monmouth. Monmouth isn't too far from here. I got Trenton and Princeton, which Trenton doesn't really have much of anything left. But I also do want to go to Brandywine. I want to go to Paoli because I got my Battle Paoli book there. I got my Brandywine book I'm looking at right now, and I got my 10 Crucial Days book. I got, and then I want to go south for a Revolutionary. And I got all these plans, and then I got also for War of 1812, the Chesapeake Bay. It's not necessarily far from where I live, you know, because I'm outside of Philadelphia, but you know, I have DC not too far from me. It's about 3 hours almost, not even, because Baltimore's about 2. And Fort McHenry, I want to do Bladensburg. I want to actually do DC, maybe get close to the White House if I can, to talk about the burning of the White House and the Capitol building. You know, and I'm going to use that book. And I actually have a book here called Washington Burning or something like that I want to bring with me. I also have this War of 1812 book to do the Chesapeake Bay that I showed. But I also want to go to like Sackett's Harbor or Fort Stanwix. Well, Sackett's Harbor was still War of 1812, and Stanwix is Revolutionary War. But I still want to do like Sackett's Harbor. I want to go out to like Detroit, and I want to go dip into Canada again in the Niagara Falls area, because you got Fort Erie up there. You got Fort Washington. You have there's another fort up there. I think it's on the New York side. It might be Fort Washington. But you know, so I got Buffalo. Buffalo actually, technically, in a sense, had some fighting happen in the War of 1812. I want to go where Tecumseh was killed in that battle. in Canada. Where else? Oh, I do want to do Saratoga. And sadly, since we didn't do Bunker Hill this year when we went up to Boston, I do want to go up to Boston and do Bunker Hill and properly do it, because Bunker Hill was quite significant. And I want to do Battle of Wyoming, which was the site of the massacre. It was gruesome affairs, like reminiscent of like the Civil War, because America during the colonial times, during the Revolutionary War, it was a bit of a civil war because of families being torn apart. And the Battle of Wyoming is definitely a site where that happens. Because you got the Loyalists and you got the Colonials, you got the Continentals and rebels, whatnot. People call them all the time. But then you also have where else? South. Oh, you got Cowpens. You got what is it? Oh, I do want to do Springfield up in New Jersey, and the Battle of Monmouth going up in the road. You got Cowpens. You have the courthouse. Can't remember off the top of my head what courthouse it was at the moment. And then we got Yorktown. I definitely want to go back to Yorktown. And then we have White Plains. Oh yeah, that's right, White Plains and Stony Point. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. I know I'm gonna be seeing like I'm gonna be doing a lot of War of 1812 Revolutionary, but I still want to do some Civil War. I want to do more. Oh, just a heads up, I don't want to spoil it, but might as well. Next month in August, we are going to Gettysburg, and what's happening is my family wants to have me be a tour guide for Gettysburg. So I'm also going to take that as an opportunity. I'm going to go live here and do some of the tour guide stuff. Now again, I'd like to say I am not an official tour guide. I do not have a tour guide's mental capacity. They are the true experts. They deserve all the praise, all that other stuff. I am not a certified tour guide. I'm just being my family's tour guide for that time, because, you know, history is my passion. They're like, hey, Charles, let's go to Gettysburg and you be our tour guide. And I was like, sure, you guys got to pay me and something certain, but I cannot stay here. But they're gonna have some fun. I want to have some fun just being able to talk about stuff I like. So I'll be going live during our time at Gettysburg, if you guys want to stay tuned and whatnot for that. That's going to be August 8th to August 10th. What times? I don't know. It's whenever we get there and decide to go live and do stuff. I won't be recording. It's going to be my stepbrother is going to hold the phone and the camera to be able to have us go live. So he's taking over that duty. Also, yeah, I just have so many plans. I want to go to Kentucky. I want to go back to Tennessee. Many of you might not know the Battle of Stones River, the Battle of Franklin. I was inspired by JD on History Underground to go to Franklin, and while we got there, because we drove, my wife and I did, for our anniversary, I found out the Stones River was right down the street from our hotel. So I convinced her to go to Stones River, and Stones River is actually one of my favorite battlefields to go to in the Civil War. I want to bring that to you guys. I want to bring Franklin to you guys. But if you want to get a good understanding of Franklin, definitely go check out American Battlefield Trust video, and go check out JD on History Underground, History Traveler. They both do a great job in covering Franklin. What else? Yeah, pretty much. I do want to do Vicksburg. I just don't know when I'm going to find all this time to do it, because we're planning on going to Europe in the next couple years, and I would like to follow in my uncle and my great-grandfather's footsteps while over there. Those of you who might not know, I had an uncle killed in World War II, in the beginning of 1945 in January. I found out like last year. And I want to follow in his footsteps. I want to go visit his grave because he's buried over there in Epinal. But I also want to follow my great-grandfather, his footsteps, from Normandy to the Bulge. And there's a book here that follows his division. It's called War from the Ground Up, the 90th Division in World War II. But with that, yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. Comment what you think. Comment where you think I should go. I'm always open. If you guys have any books that you want me to recommend, I have plenty here I've read. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I greatly appreciate it, because, you know, talking history is fun for me. You also check out the Instagram for the current book I'm reading. Check out my Twitter, X, for anything. So, yeah, you guys have a great one. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.